All right, we're back. Let's go out to Seattle, home of Soundgarden and Nirvana, and talk to Claire. What's up, Claire?
Hey, how are you?
Partying, dude. What are you up to?
Oh, you know.
Oh, you know. Just Seattling it up. Is it raining today?
It is actually for the first time in a while. So.
If you could do me a huge favor and go holler at your baseball team, tell them to just take 30% off and back it down a notch. My Astros are in danger of not making the playoffs because your boys came out of nowhere. So just send a nice note and tell them to just chill out. Okay, what's up?
So I've been listening to your show for a while, and I guess I've heard you talk to several people about, living in a fantasy when it comes to, accepting the reality of the person that's right in front of you. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about if I'm doing that or if I'm seeing the potential in somebody and supporting their growth in life in the context of a romantic relationship.
Sure. Tell me more. Something happened and that's why you called. What happened?
Well, we've been dating for 2 years now. And from the beginning, I knew that, he's prone to a lot of anxiety and depression. And when he's really feeling those things, it's like this dark cloud that follows him around. He's quick to anger. He's super defensive. He can be really cold and just negative. And it seems sometimes even suspicious of me that I'm going to hurt him, in some way when I'm just trying to be caring. And on the other side of that, when he's not feeling that, everything is so great. He's playful and loving, and I feel so cared about. And I've really encouraged him to seek help. And he's been going to therapy, and I feel like things have, gotten better. But, I'm also particularly sensitive person. And so, if he's short with me, it just feels so heavy sometimes. And I'm like, man, is this going to be like this forever? And sometimes it just feels overwhelming. And I think, do I just need to accept this? Is who he is like a cold, short person? Or am I actually investing my time and energy into helping him grow and build a relationship? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Can I say a couple of hard things and you push back if I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Think of me like you're at the doctor's office and it's like, does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? That's what I'm doing right now, okay? I think there's something else. What's the something else?
I guess I don't know if there's anything else.
How dark are those dark moments?
I mean, I guess what bothers me the most is when he's angry, he raises his voice, and sometimes he'll swear, and that's really triggering for me.
Yes. So that's what I was getting at. It's not a matter of him having anxiety. It's not a matter of him having depression. I know loads of people, myself included, who have those traditional diagnostics that have great relationships. But they're a context. They're not an excuse to scream and swear and cuss at somebody you love. And beyond the raising your voice and swearing, he scares you.
Yeah.
And so I just tell you my house. Well, before I even tell you about my house, I don't want you to look at this relationship like it's a bank account that you're trying to invest over the long haul. Like he's not a mutual fund.
Yeah.
The question you need to ask yourself is, do I feel safe and loved and seen and heard and still loved anyway in this relationship? Not, If I do a bunch of the right things and keep pushing him and grooming him and coddling him and for the occasional, like, oh, you're great, for the occasional ray of sunshine, in the next 15 years, will this finally all go away? The answer is no.
Yeah.
Because he's not a mutual fund. In my house, my wife and I came to the understanding that my refusal not to not be anxious, because that's just my body trying to get my attention, not to be running really low. That was my body trying to get my attention. But my unwillingness to go way upstream and change the way I do things, that was the problem. And so when we sat down and said, hey, if we're going to both feel safe in this relationship, if you're going to be the man that I know you can be, and I'm going to be the most plugged in wife that I want to be, here's what I need from you. And it wasn't to not be anxious. It was, I need you to take care of yourself. I need you to put the computer down. I need you to sleep. I need you to never scare me in my house, right? And she didn't say all those things. I'm speaking in her language into your home.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation is, if he won't go do the things, he went to counseling, which is great. That means he's sitting down talking to somebody. Is he then going to the gym? Is he then going to work a second job to pay off what he owes? Is he then going to do these things that's going to give him peace in his home? That's the bigger question. What say you?
Well, I don't know. It's a lot.
It is. How about this? Have you been completely clear and honest and direct about what you need, what you want, and what your boundaries are?
Yes, I feel like I have been.
Okay. Have you enacted those boundaries? For instance, if you yell and swear at me, you are, through your behavior, kicking me out of my own house, and I will leave. Or kicking me out of the apartment, and I will leave. Well, I'm just having a low episode. You don't even care. No. Your low episodes are not an excuse to treat me like garbage. If you're having a low episode, it's your responsibility to step out. Go get the help you need. Go get the care you need. Go do the things that help you be well and whole. Be honest with me.
Yeah.
Not use me as a living embodiment of a Xanax to try to make you feel better. That's not my job.
Yeah, and that's what I worry about, because I put so much responsibility on myself to try to, I guess, soothe him. That it weighs on me. Yeah,
because you're his mom now.
Yeah.
You're like a pet owner. You're a mother. You're not a girlfriend. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's no such thing as a perfect person, and there's no such thing as the one. Those are all Hollywood myths, so it's not real. That's actually way before Hollywood, but that's not real. The question you have to ask yourself is this person doing whatever they can to help me meet my needs so that I can do everything I can to help meet their needs so that they can do everything right? Are we both in this together so we can build something amazing? Or am I still on the road trying to change tires? And when I talk about like a fantasy, somebody sits down and says, hey, John, I've got this idea for a business. The idea for a business is a group of people. People are going to have cars, and they're just going to be connected on their cell phone, and you're going to be able to just hit a button, and that person who's closest to you is just going to swing by and pick you up. And we're going to handle money over here electronically, so there's not even an exchange of money. You don't even tip in person. And I'll do a whole bunch of background checks on the person over and over and over again to make sure they're safe. No more taxis, no more you having to park downtown, no more any of those things. You just hit a button on your phone, someone's going to swing by and pick you up. If someone explained that to me, that'd be awesome. I'd say I could see how that could work really great. There's going to be a lot of regulation, a lot of things we have to do to get there, but I can see it. Mm-hmm. And when my daughter brings me her wooden helicopter idea built out of a like some sticks and a chair and some rope, I can see it. But I can also see that's not going to work.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a hard question. Are you done? And you're just trying to give yourself permission to be done? Because your ROI language suggests, I heard a comedian say the other day, the worst part about a long-term breakup is you get no future credit for that in the new relationship. You can't be like, you can't meet somebody new and be like, no, I already went to all the weddings. Like, I did that. Like, you got to go to the other weddings now, right? You got to do it all over again. And somebody with an ROI mindset sometimes find themselves in relationships long-term that they should have left a long time ago. But they've deposited so much in the account, they don't want to lose that sunk cost.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Sometimes in those moments when they're low, I feel like that. But another issue, I guess, is that I don't really trust myself to make that decision because I've had a tendency to run away when things are hard before.
Okay, I love that. I do too. I have a bad tendency to cut and run. In fact, one of my mentors told me once, he said, the worst thing you've done for yourself is giving yourself so many options. You got so many degrees and so many credentials and so many experiences that you can just cut and run and you never have to live through something when it's hard. And only when you put in the work during the hard season do you get this amazing harvest on the back end. But if you cut and run and every time you show up, it's just when they're picking apples and you don't like to sit there through the drought, man, you don't get to see the super harvest on the back end. And he was right. He was absolutely right. I cut and run. And so what I've learned to do is I outsource that. Before I quit my job as a senior student affairs officer, I flew across the country, sat down with two of my oldest buddies and said, I'm thinking about quitting all this to become a podcaster and a YouTuber. Does that sound smart? And they were like, you're nuts. And that sounds right. Like, you're going to get to travel around and speak, write books, get on the road, help people. It's nuts, but it's right. I was too close to it.
Yeah.
Do you have some women in your life that know what you've been going through, know your boyfriend, know how your tendencies that you could sit down and be completely honest with?
Yeah, I do.
Would you be willing to honor them and you by saying, hey, I need y'all for 3 hours on Saturday morning. I'm going to lay this all out and let them speak into your life a little bit?
Yeah, I can do that.
I think that would be awesome. At least give you some clarity. And tell them, I promise I won't get mad and I won't do classic Claire where I try to over-explain myself or whatever your classic moves are.
Yeah.
But give them permission. I'm not seeing this clearly. And I talked to this goofball podcaster, and he suggested that I get a different opinion from people who love me. But I think that's where you're at. Here's my super fear. I think in your gut you know. And maybe you spent a lot of years learning to shut that inner voice up. Or maybe this is the time too, your inner voice is wrong. Either way, I think you know. Whew. The question is, do you all agree about the need for a change? And are you both taking steps, however wobbly or wonky, towards those changes, towards that new tomorrow? And if you're doing that and you're in, then that's awesome. My wife has been there for me as I have had to completely relearn how to be a grown-up. And I've probably done that 3 or 4 times. And I've been there with her when she's made her changes. That's the nature of relationships. But it all starts with an agreed upon, here's what I want this house to feel like. Here's what I want my marriage to feel like. I want it to be warm. I want it to be hilarious. I want it to be safe. I don't want to walk into my apartment and feel scared that I don't know what mood you're going to be in. I can't control that. I know, you're right. So your work is, how do we get way upstream of that and begin the healing process there? Because you deserve somebody that doesn't scare you, somebody that doesn't swear at you, somebody that doesn't scream at you. You deserve that, regardless of what their diagnostic is. Whew. Let me know how that conversation on Saturday goes. I would love to get some feedback on that. And let me know what those women you trust say. but I think you know.